On Nationwide this evening, stories of Irish people who, when they're not running their own businesses, give their time and money to helping disadvantaged people around the globe. People like Derek O'Neill, who last year was recognised for his humanitarian work by the Variety World Conference. And the story of a Dublin woman who has devoted her life to help orphans in Russia with her charity To Russia with Love. You're welcome to Nationwide. This evening we're featuring the work of three pretty impressive Irish people moved by the plight of those who are less well off in different parts of the world. And we're beginning with the story of a Dublin man, Derek O'Neill, who last year was honoured as Humanitarian of the Year and also International Celebrity Ambassador for the Variety Children's Charity. And this is an award which in the past has gone to very famous people. Valerie Waters recently met Derek at his retreat centre near New Ross in County Wexford, where he told her about the work that he does to raise money for his humanitarian projects.
I don't believe that you should go into a forest with sackcloth and ash on your forehead and run away from life. I think this is where life is to be lived, and if you are fortunate enough to make more money than you need just to fulfill your own basic needs, then you have an opportunity to change the world for the better just by sharing what you have.
In May 2012, Derek O'Neill received the prestigious Humanitarian Award at the Variety World Conference, which was held in Dublin. Variety is an international charity which helps sick, disabled and disadvantaged children.
I was just delighted to be nominated for such an award, and to then actually find out that I would go on and win it was incredible. And so that award, for to be given to an first time probably an ordinary person living an extraordinary life, but an ordinary person, was a huge step for that charity, because all of a sudden it wasn't going to somebody who was famous.
Derek also won the Irish Autism Action Person of the Year and the Person of the Year from the English charity Hearts and Minds, all in 2012.
What those awards actually do for me is they give my work credibility in people's eyes, because sometimes people don't give organisations like ours the credit that they may deserve, if you like.
Derek and his late wife Linda set up the SQ Foundation, which funds the building and running of hospitals, orphanages and schools for children living in poverty in 12 countries throughout the world.
It truly gives me a great passion to know that 35,000 kids are safe because I'm alive. People often ask me, why do I do this work? And the answer actually is in my hand right now, because to receive a letter like this from a child that you've helped somewhere out there, and for them to go to, and put from their heart to your heart, and for them to take the time out to send you these letters saying thank you, that they're much healthier, much happier, much more safe. This is why I do this. And they say a picture paints 1,000 words. Well, this particular little girl now who sent this, she was being very badly sexually abused, because I recognise this letter and have a look at the picture she's now drawing compared to what a child may be drawing when they had such an event happen to them. And I have folders and folders and folders of these letters, and that's why I do what I do. When you set a goal, be strategic about setting your goal.
Derek works as a transformational therapist and motivational coach, mostly in the US, and he has an Irish business near New Ross in County Wexford. He owns Creakin Lodge, which is a retreat and wellness centre. Like-minded people come here and pay for accommodation and to partake in therapies such as massage or yoga. Profits made from his businesses in Ireland and America go to the SQ Foundation charity.
The message or the mantra of Creakin Lodge Wellness Centre is there's only one religion, it is the religion of love. There is only one caste or brotherhood, it is the caste of humanity, and there is only one God, and he, she or it does not mind what it's called because it is love incarnate. The idea of this symbol is we're all one, we all live on the same planet, let's get together and let's unify all religions so that peace can happen in the world.
In order to fund the various humanitarian projects, Derek must raise millions of dollars in the US. He calls himself a mentor or guide who helps people to overcome their own problems themselves.
In the workshops that I do in America and Ireland, one of the most important factors is I tell them that they are their greatest teacher, their greatest guru and their greatest leader. All healing is self-healing. Nobody can heal another person. A person has to choose to heal themselves, and they do that through various methods, going to doctors, going to counselling sessions, coming to groups like this where you get insights, deeper insights into the mind that are so profound at times that it's just hugely helpful. The message of the workshop is don't give your power to another person, use it for yourself, empower yourself, become healthy yourself, and then you can help other people to do the same thing.
Derek's motivational workshops are very lucrative, and that money has great potential.
I love the feeling I get when, I go into a leper colony in India and, I know that the money I've earned from the last workshop can actually clear the whole leper colony and bring them back to health. So again, I just have this strange mind where I believe everything is energy and money is energy. So this is my way of expending energy, because I believe there's a whole bucket load in the universe just ready for people to collect, and by giving you receive.
And so by giving, Derek O'Neill has helped thousands of children in different parts of the world. Now, our next story also involves a Dublin person who has given so much of herself to children who have great need of her help. Debbie Degan, 14 years ago, opened her heart and her home to a Russian orphan, and as a result of this encounter, she has gone on to found the charity To Russia with Love. Recently, I went to the Bryansk region, to Hortolova orphanage, to see at first hand the work that Debbie does. This is the orphanage at Hortolova. It's 400 kilometres southwest of Moscow, 6 hours on the train. And this is where Debbie Deegan came in 1998 to fulfil a promise she made to the 7-year-old girl that she and her husband had just adopted. Debbie told Zina that she would come here to visit the classmates that Zina had left behind. Little did she realise that that one visit, well, what she thought would be one visit, would change her life and the lives of the children here forever. Debbie was so shocked by conditions at Hortolova that she founded To Russia with Love, and the first task to be undertaken was to transform the barrack-like grey building, typical of the communist era, into a series of brightly painted smaller bungalows. The colours were chosen by the children. There's a lot of pink and blue and lilac there now. There's also a playground designed by the prisoners at Wheatfield Prison and built on the grounds. I want to introduce you now to a young girl. Her name is Anastasia, and she has been here in Hortolova for 1 year now. Nastya, how old are you?
I am 14 years old.
And why are you here?
I don't have mama and papa.
Are you happy in Hortolova?
Very happy, and especially when my Irish friends are here.
So, what would you like to be when you finish school?
I want to be a translator.
Well, you make a very good translator because your English is excellent. I understand also that you have a special teddy.
Yes, it is Debbie's teddy.
And where's your teddy?
My teddy in Ireland, on bed, Debbie.
On Debbie's bed?
Yes.
That's a fair exchange, isn't it? Yes.
I mean, the smallest amount of money makes a huge difference out here. You know, we get serious bang for our buck really out here. I mean, €10 will get a little girl shampoo for 6 months. 20 euro will buy some of the jackets you saw the kids wrapped up in today, or winter boots for the kids for the winter.
Russian orphans typically have living parents. These are children taken into state care because of parental neglect or abandonment. At Hortolova, these vulnerable youngsters get the best of care. They eat regular, nutritious hot meals. They sleep in cosy bedrooms, no more than 3 to a room, and they go to school.
I am a children's programs coordinator here in Hortolova. I have a lot of programs: cooking class, welcome pack program, then birthdays program, and every Monday we go with the children to the skating rink. We have extra classes here which are paid by our Irish friends. They are piano class, cooking class and dance class. So they are very important classes for our children. Our children love them very much.
The generosity of Irish people, channeled through to Russia with Love, has transformed the lives and the prospects for thousands of orphaned children at Hortolova. And as a result of her success there, Debbie Deegan is now looking after 22 orphanages throughout Russia. Among them is a home dedicated to the care of abandoned babies. This is Karachev Orphanage, a home for babies and toddlers abandoned at birth by mothers who can't or won't look after them. All have physical or mental difficulties. The Leavers Flat is a kind of halfway house for young adults who are leaving the Hortolova nest. Here they learn to cook, clean and look after themselves under the watchful eye of the people they've come to love and trust. Kirill is 25. He's doing an apprenticeship in car maintenance and he's lived in Hortolova since he was 7.
When I was 7, we lived in the village, 140 kilometers from the Bryansk. And no work, no food, no anything. It was 3 of us on that time. So it's no anything to keep like better life, So the government decided to take us from mother and give us to the childhood orphanage, to the Klintsy.
The children at Hortolova have been rescued from a life of deprivation and neglect. They have security now and a bright future to look forward to, thanks to the work of To Russia with Love and Debbie Deegan, who, despite the huge difficulties of running Hortolova during the recession, is as committed to these children now as ever.
I certainly won't give up. The kids just fire me up every time, and I can't walk away from them. I can't tell them that we're not going to be here for them anymore. They're so used to us. You saw them today. It's like life before the Irish and then life after the Irish. Everybody else in their life has let them down, and I just don't believe I'll ever be able to let them down because everybody else has.
A woman of courage and determination there, Debbie Deegan, doing wonderful work for very vulnerable children in very difficult financial circumstances. And by the way, Debbie has written a memoir of her work in Hortolova. It's called To Russia with Love, and you get information about it and about the charity on their website, which is on your screens now. We're going to take a break now, and when we come back we'll have more philanthropy for you, more wonderful Irish people doing great work. We'll talk to you in a couple of minutes. You're welcome back to Nationwide, and our next story tells of a Limerick woman who travels the world turning people's lives around. Her name is Marie O'Riordan, and she started off her professional life as a radio producer and journalist. Then she took the step that she always wanted to, helping people to succeed in business. Now, Marie has appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. She has clocked up thousands of air miles, but when she was consulted by a business in County Monaghan, she generated more than €1 million in just 17 days. I know you want to hear more. Mary Fanning has her story.
Marie O'Riordan's company is Ideal Business Intelligence. She's mentored Fortune 500 companies such as Johnson & Johnson, acted as a consultant to a royal family, mentored Olympians, Paralympians, European and national champions.
To me, it's to simplify. It's to basically take someone's life, someone's gifts, their natural ability to do something their whole life, and see that, you know, if they can only think outside the box and see that if you come at it from a different perspective, a different angle, that anything is possible.
Last year, Jerry Duffy, managing director of a family business that specialises in renewable heating solutions hit by the recession, asked her to come and look at the enterprise he started 30 years ago and find answers.
We were so long in business that we were, I suppose, not seeing the wood from the trees. Very quickly, she could identify that. You know, the most surprising thing to me really was that within 2 hours of being here, she said, she came in, sat beside me, and she said, you know, we have a very big problem. She said, this place is far too quiet.
I walked in the door and I was horrified. And I guess I have this ability, or I guess what I do, or what gives me the edge, is that when I walk into a space, I'm able to see an environment unlike anyone else. When I saw the environment of Jerry and where the people were working, I was thinking, why are there so many staff staring at blank walls with no windows, no open spaces? They can't go and make themselves a cup of coffee. It's brought to their desk. Why don't they have the freedom to have a breakout room, a brainstorm area? Let's put that in tomorrow. So I was coming up with these crazy, wacky ideas, but Jerry said yes to everything I came up with.
Dr. Nisha O'Reilly, Marie's business partner, examined the profile of the personnel in the company.
So the irony in this case, working with Jared Duffy, is that I never actually stepped into the company. I never met him. I never met anybody he worked with. I never saw the environment. I didn't need to. I was behind the scenes completely. Marie rang me and gave me a complete evaluation, and I was looking at the environment, how everybody fitted into it. So it's an environment, it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no shops around. There's no McDonald's. There's no local sandwich bar. There's nothing. And people were coming here and working all day, and there wasn't the facility to make a cup of tea.
Working as a team, Marie, Dr. Nisha and Jerry started to change everything.
What we were doing, we were bringing solutions that were absolutely perfect for the result we wanted to create. We could create the end result, but the person we were introducing it to couldn't get it. They didn't see what we were giving them, because we were giving them technology. In reality, we weren't giving them technology. In reality, we were giving them comfort at a very basic minimum cost, which couldn't be bought for that price anywhere. But we never made that point clear.
Dr. Nisha set about simplifying the approach.
I was looking at this from a science background, because I have a science background myself. So a lot of the technical jargon that, you know, Marie had been given 28 pages of technical information, to be perfectly honest with you, she completely freaked out. Like her piece that she brings to this is all communication, media, positioning, a lot of the language branding, whereas I'm more the visual branding, so we kind of bounce off each other in that sense. And she knows exactly what she wants to communicate. I'm looking at the psychology of the clients that he's trying to talk to. I'm trying to see the psychology between going into a family home to do a heating system and go into Kingspan engineering and how you approach that. So we scaled it down to 4 images. And basically I then helped Marie to write a script which she spoke over and explained. So we had 4 images flashing up in a video that could be played. It could be played on the internet independently by people, or Jerry could just bring it along and show his phone to somebody and go, that's what I do.
Then Jerry and his workforce started to go after business with that new approach.
What I find is that I sit down with a client now, and rather than going through something for 4 hours, I can basically go through it in half an hour, and they understand what I'm going through. Before that, I didn't realise I was simply confusing them. For me, the big concern before Marie came on board was to keep the workforce, because we have huge knowledge base. Like I have lads here, 40 years of age, that came to me when they were 16. So like, you know, you can't replace that. Up until 3 weeks ago, the last guy that we took on was 10 years ago. So now in the last few weeks we've taken on a few more because the business is growing so fast.
In just 17 days, he generated over €1 million worth of business. It seems incredible, but it did happen.
I wasn't surprised. I'll tell you why I wasn't surprised was that we were generating huge quotes. We were putting out serious amount of quotations to people. People knew Eurotech in the market. It's a common name in renewable energy, but whereas maybe locally a lot of people wouldn't know what we do, but they knew about it, and they'd come to us looking for a quote. The only thing I was surprised about was that more of them weren't taking us up on it. And when we changed our way of presenting ourselves, immediately they could see that we could offer them what they were looking for. So it has the valves open to.
Towards the end of last year, Marie and Dr. Nisha revisited Jerry and some of the clients to see how their business plan was working and the results. They first visited a private home.
I went out, I looked at the meter, and I saw from midnight last night until now, so 15 and a half hours in fact, of fully hot water and heating for the entire property, which is quite substantial, and it was just €1.29 on the meter. Just blew me away.
Monaghan's Pentecostal Church is another client.
The church is 14,000 square feet, and not just square footage. When you look at the height of the ceiling we have in here, you know, it's awesome for €4 a day. You know, that's the size of 5 large houses being heated for €4 a day. It's unbelievable.
And the team also went to Kingspan in Castleblaney, a company who's using Eurotech technology. Eurotech is just one of the many hundreds of companies and individuals that Marie O'Riordan has turned around. She's a heavy hitter, so does it cost a fortune to hire her?
Absolutely.
I feel that in some way when there's a synergy and you really get the passion and the belief in someone, that I find a way to work with people. And I have several examples even right now of people who are just barely able to scrape together whatever they could afford, and I've decided to work with them as well. It's not all about the money. And the other side of it, in the charity side of what I do, I'm a great believer in giving back. I've been very fortunate, I've been very blessed, I've been very, very generous in giving back and putting it into philanthropic projects, because I believe, you know, money, what is it? It's a feeling, it's an entity. Sure, it helps you enjoy a nice life, but it's not the reason I do what I do.
Marie O'Riordan was presented with the Middle East Internet Honorary Award for her philanthropic work for an iPhone recycling project in Africa. She gives back, and her charity work was inspired by many, but the highlight for her was an interview with Mother Teresa of Calcutta some years ago. As a result of this and her other work, she was invited to take part in the Oprah Winfrey Life class in the United States. Marie continues her philanthropic work across the world, in tandem with her business solutions. But can just anyone hire her?
When people know that it's not about them, it's really about helping other people, and it's the generational effect. I call it the family tree effect, okay? Because I'm not going to be here forever. I want to leave a legacy, and I want to leave a proud legacy for the people I work with in this country to pass it on as well. So if they want to contact me, I'd be open to having a chat, but it's no guarantee I'll work with them.
I think one of the things for customers is that...
Isn't it lovely to see a confident woman like Marie providing mentor support for Irish business, and like so many other Irish people, giving help to good causes around the globe. As I always say, we're very lucky to have them. Sin deir leis lár, beim idir aislibh ar anína agus idir adálín, iwagwibh. On next Friday's Nationwide, stories of Ireland's style and fashion business, large and small. How Carlow lace continues to attract interest in the modern era. The Galway milliner whose hats are in demand. The Derry Linen Company with a German twist, and the story of Donegal company Kennedy's of Ardra in the business of knotwear for 100 years.
On this evening's Nationwide, we have stories of Ireland's style and fashion business, large and small. How Carlow lace continues to attract interest in the modern era. The Galway milliner, whose hats are in demand. The Derry Linen Company with a German twist. And the story of Donegal firm Kennedy of Ardra, in the knitwear business for 100 years.
Good evening, you're welcome. This evening we have stories of creative people and Irish successes from the world of traditional Irish fashion. For over 100 years now, the Kennedy family have been in business in Ardra in County Donegal. Set up by a returned emigrant who ran saloons in the Wild West, Kennedy's certainly has a colourful history.
For 48 years, Phil Ward has been calling to traditional Aran hand knitters in Donegal, bringing them wool and collecting finished garments for sale through Kennedy of Ardra, and he has loved every minute of it.
How you doing today, Nora? Did you get your jumper done?
I did.
Oh, that's good. I brought you another one.
Okay.
So.
And there's one in the house.
That's good, that's good.
Nora Hanlon started knitting as a girl, the skill handed down to her by her mother.
The housewife would be there, and she might have 2 or 3 daughters that had left school. There was no other much work them years, and they were knitting as well because they could knit, because they saw their mothers at it from they were that size there. They were real geniuses, that's what they were.
It was a very good income at the time because, like lots of homes, the children were growing up and there wasn't much work, so